For those of you who don't know, I am a physician. I'm an internist, and in training in physicians, there's a lot of patients that stick with you that you just can't forget. And I'm not going to tell you about the ones that stick with me because they're pretty heartbreaking. But 9 times out of 10, it's because they didn't have access to health insurance, that they end up in the hospital. Where I used to be a hospitalist, I'd be the person who'd take care of them when they came into the emergency room and needed to be admitted. And now I work with Michael up at Graysdale, among other places, and take care of half the patients up there. And I would say that most of my patients, to some degree, end up in a nursing home, in some part because of their inability to access adequate medical care. For diabetics who cannot afford their insulin, they go without, and they get diabetic foot ulcers, and they get amputations, and they end up living in nursing homes, which are paid for by Medicaid. Or COPD, I would say 50% of my patients who come in either don't buy their inhalers, or they ration them, and they end up going back into the hospital again and again and again, 10 times in 6 months, because they cannot afford the inhalers at home, and there is no way to get it to them. People who cannot afford their blood pressure medicine end up on dialysis, and they end up on Medicare, and we are paying for them to be shipped to dialysis 3 times a week, with the misery that comes with dialysis. So I see it firsthand, and I see it more on the micro scale rather than a lot of the macro scale that Willie addressed here. It's real, it's consequential, and it costs so much money. One of the places that most internists train is the VA. And I had the good fortune to train in Washington, D.C.'s VA, which is a very well-run VA. And now some of them have a lot of problems, but this one taught me a lot about the genius, actually, of a closed system. The VA had the best medical record system in the world, the best computer system in the world, and our patients had access to clinics. They had access to care that most of these very poor people who live side by side with them did not have access to. And I see how successful the VA model was, and I believe that even though there are huge hurdles to be had in terms of finding out how to do this, that's our goal in front of us, is to find out how we can do this. It's not a matter of should we do this, it's a matter of how can we do this, because it is the only thing in my mind that makes financial sense to us as a system, but also humanitarian sense to us as people who care for everyone else. So that's really what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.